for an apprenticeship in electric cars, and it helped me improve my knowledge in electricity. I never relented in submitting applications even when an opportunity was not forthcoming. I asked my senior colleagues for the addresses of companies they work with so I could send in my applications. I never stayed idle. I combined the search with my apprenticeship in electricals. I finally got an email for resumption at their Warri facility based, I beg your pardon, on April 2018. I was interviewed during my 2 weeks induction there and then posted to a vessel located at Onne Port in Rivers State. My career at that point began. I made a plan towards ensuring I applied for eligibility for my Class 3 license after I had gotten my 12-month seat time instead of waiting till my 18 months after my company elapsed. Immediately after my 12th month, I came back to the academy for the preparatory class in the year 2020. The class was scheduled for 6 months, which started from January and was to end by June. But fortunately, I ended up rounding up the class in 16 months due to COVID-19 outbreak. This became another nightmare and seemed to me whenever I set foot out to get my 3-step backward rather than forward, but still I encouraged myself to keep moving forward. This became another nightmare, Unfortunately, I wrote the exam and did my oral interview and passed in a sitting. After a month, results were released and I got all necessary ancillary certificates needed to collect the license. I got the license and applied for jobs randomly. I had different offers and I chose the best till date. I have been having different offers but still chose to be with my recent company. Soon I intend to get my next license in order to have more wider acceptability and recognition in other countries of the world. My advice for younger cadets is to stay focused while being engaged in relevant skills during your search for cadetship on board ships. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Some of you will eventually identify with this storyline. But my prayer for you is that you don't have to wait for 3 years. That will be shorter. So just prepare your mind. There's a reason why I brought that forward. So the second story that was the sad one was that there was a young lady who, she's actually doing her NYSC now, one of our cadets. We sent her to a very big and good company for her to do her NYSC, and they set exams for her. She passed in everything, but she failed in Excel. They gave her an Excel file, and she failed. So when she eventually called me, oh, she couldn't make it. I said, why? She said, oh, she failed in Excel. I said, look, I am very sure, and I know that the rector gave you guys computer in the school. How dare you say you failed Excel? Oh, we were never taught computer. I said, if it were possible for me to send you back to the academy, for the rector to hand you over to the regimental unit commandant to deal with you, I would have done that. You have a laptop. Even if you were not taught. You should explore your laptops. It's not every school that cadets or graduates get given a laptop. Work on it. Look at the opportunity she missed, but luckily for her, as at last week, she eventually had a place. Okay, now she went and paid, I think, I can't remember how much she said she paid, to do a crash program on Excel, what she could have done free while in the academy. So, ladies and gentlemen, every opportunity that comes your way, please take it seriously. So before we start, before my time starts, my normal quiz. The deck guys, a ship around the equator traveled and changed her daylight by 1.3 miles. She traveled up north, changed her daylight by 1.3 miles. How many distance did the vessel traverse? A 50,000 naira question. Whoever gets to 50,000. Shall I repeat it again? Around the equator, The vessel traveled on a course 00 degrees north for 1.3. Change her delat by 1.3 miles. Please, can you tell us how many miles in terms of distance did the vessel travel? I count 1 to 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yep. Huh? I can't hear you. 91.3. No, you didn't get it. Next attempt. Yes. You know what's the delat? The vessel changed its delat by 1.3 miles. So how much with respect to distance? How many miles did the vessel travel? Okay. None. So for the dead guys, I wish it's time for us to see frog jump you.
Someone wants to respond to that.
Okay, the last attempt, because we don't have time.
Sites 1 to 3 kilometers.
How many?
1 to 3 kilometers. 1,331 kilometers.
No. Okay. At the equator, your delat, if you are traveling north and south, your delat is the same thing as your distance. Mishfem, while your departure, if you are traveling east and west, is the same thing as your distance. So the vessel actually traveled at the same 1.3 miles. So I'm 50,000 naira richer. For the engineers, the doctor, what principle does the doctor use? And can you tell me one place in the vessel that the doctor is being used? The engineers, the doctor. If I see you open your phone, So I count 1 to 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Gone. Is there someone? Yeah. Huh? Pump. Yeah, what principle? It's a pump, yes. But what principle? Which is your state of origin? Eh? You can speak in your local language, I will understand. If you are struggling to explain it in English, the doctor principle, you have water running through and sucking it out. So go and read it. That's just the principle.
An answer, yes. Sir. An answer, yes.
After I've said it, so what's the answer? No, tell me. No, tell me.
The principle has to do with magnetic energy to electric energy.
I'm struggling to hear you. Can you come louder, please?
The principle has to do with magnetic energy to electric energy.
Okay.
Magnetic to electric energy.
Not really. So go and read it. You actually have it in your fire system. And in fact, in some system, in your fire system, okay, read it when we finish. The doctor principle. So at the end of the day, I'm 100,000 naira richer. Thank you very much. Enough for me to buy a good meal for myself. Okay, so let's go to our program for today. So what is it? Do what?
The managers.
To ask the managers?
Yes.
No. Managers will pay. Managers should pay to answer the question. If they're ready to pay to answer the question. Okay, so guys, what am I trying to... Imagine you are coming for an interview and those were just the 2 questions we have for you. You'll be a case of, that's the door, young man. Expand your knowledge. And for me, every time I come in, I always will go for questions I think, I know questions you can answer. I know questions you struggle to answer. It's always for me to stir up something in you that, hey, there's still so much to learn. Okay? So I'm starting with a quote my personal quote, that education is a precursor to a successful career. I can be challenged. That's the table of contents for the program today. So first, we look at graduation. What's graduation? Your big day. The award or acceptance of an academic degree or diploma. It is one of the most unforgettable milestones in your life's journey. Often it's the beginning of your career. Although some actually will push it back to, say for a navigator, when you started your program, your first semester is actually the beginning of your career. Some will say it actually starts at your graduation. Some will say it actually starts at when you start a job. But whatever is the case, whatever is the reference point, there is a major significance of graduation. It represents the culmination of a journey, an attainment of a goal. It is an end of a phase. So, graduates, congratulations on the completion of this phase of your life. Please, can you clap for yourselves? It is an exciting period in your life and full of feelings. Looking back at the time at school, but here you are. You've made it. These are some graduation quotes which I think we should just look through. I'll read through them. Looking back, the time in the college had crystallized into certainty, but tomorrow and beyond are in the realm of uncertainty, which I shall fight the fight of good faith and persevere with the spirit of excellence to win. The next one came from Stephen Colbert. You are about to start the greatest improvisation of all, with no script, absolutely no script. No idea what's going to happen. Often with people and places you have never seen before, and you are not in control. So say yes, and if you are lucky, you will find people who will say yes back to you. And Wilfred Oprah said, you must have some vision for your life. Even if you don't know the plan, you have to have a direction in which you choose to go. That's your career. Malcolm X, a very controversial person, says, education is our passport to the future, for tomorrow belongs to the people who prepare for it today. Tomorrow belongs to the people who prepare for it today. So the preparation for the future starts today. So career, what's a career? In simple terms, it's an individual's journey through life, learning and working. Career has a lifetime and it spans over time and requires flexibility, changes and adaptation. You could start up as a navigator and end up as an administrator. You can carve out your career. Your career is in your palms. It can be truncated. So you need to be very careful. We'll talk about managing your bosses. Somebody in an organization, somebody in the place you are going to work with can actually truncate your career. So that's where emotional intelligence comes in. You need to know how to manage every person you work with. Career is sometimes planned and sometimes unplanned. You had planned, some of you had planned to be navigators, but we never know. It can be seen as an occupation or a profession that one undertakes for a long period of his or her lifetime and derives benefits such as money, satisfaction. I just use the word money first. Money should be the least, should probably come second or third. If you focus on money first in building your career, you are bound to fail. The Western world, they have this saying that money is a bad motivator. But we in this part of the world, we still see money as a great motivator. But in every aspect, that personal satisfaction should be the prime consideration in the choice of your career. So few nuggets on career. It often commences, like I said, from your graduation, though some start much earlier. The intervening period can be unpredictable from a day to several years. Recall the guy we read, it was 3 years. However, your career starts once you are able to secure a job. Thereafter, your immediate concern is how to succeed in your career. It's just not good enough having a job. How do you stay on it? If you remember the theme of this program, it's also about how to secure, stay on your job. Okay, your career could be permanent. And like we said earlier, it could be changed later in life. There's also the issue of advancement. You can't join a place as a cadet. You can't start your career at sea as a cadet and end up as a cadet. There are paths, progression that you have to move to the apex, the culmination. That's where that personal satisfaction comes in. If you end up your career as a second officer for the deck guys, you have not successfully completed your career. So there's also what they call career development. I'll leave that for you to read. The slide will be made available to you. And there's also the big question, what distinguishes exceptional professional apart? The answer, between two people, the things that will distinguish two people will be excellence, which is the willingness and a strong desire to perform well. Once you have the willingness and the right mindset, you can begin climbing the ladder of success. Okay. I love this. Oh no, sorry. I've not been changing. Okay, it's there. I love this flow chart. Graduation, you can see where you are today. Graduation, so we start searching for a job, isn't it? The question is, do you have experience? If the answer is yes, you go to what? Do you know people in the industry? Remember what that guy said. He contacted people he knew. So if you know people in the industry, apply through them for referrals. And luckily, you could secure a job. If you don't know anybody, what do? Desperately apply for thousands of jobs. Apply. Cry, pray, whatever you want to do. Sacrifice. Apply for some more. By stroke of luck, you could get lucky and get hired. If you don't have experience, you see the sad part for an applicant is applying for a job and they say, oh, they're looking for people with experience. Nobody's giving you the job. How can you have experience? We'll talk about that, how to bridge that gap. But however, for the sake of this graph, if you don't have any experience, the question is, are you willing to start from the bottom? You just must be willing to start from the bottom. If the answer is yes, get an internship. Work for free. Apply to a company. Tell them, hey, I don't need to get salaried. I just want to serve. I just want to give my services. And if you go and excel, you find out that can actually be a way of getting employed. If the answer is no, you don't want to start at the bottom, this is the negative side. I made it a bit light. If you don't have morals, you don't have experience, you don't want to start at the bottom. And the other guy says, do you have morals? If you have morals, you give up and drive McDonald's. That is putting driving as the least career. So you can go that way. But this other one said, if you don't have morals, on the joking side, it says, are you attractive? If you say you're attractive, smile nicely, flex, you may get a job. But can that sustain you? No. The other one says, if you are not attractive, manipulate your resume, you may get a job. Things happen. People manipulate their resume, get a job. But the question is, do they really stay on those jobs? Yes, you can get that job, but can you perform to stay on it? But of course, the best part, this remains the best part in your career. Honorable part for you to follow. So the difference between career and a course of study. Course is a sequence of events, while a career is one's calling. A course provides students with industry-specific skill. Career is actually when you are secured there, you are in it, you build up on it. The difference between a career and a job. You can read through it. I'm not going to read this. I will just give you an example. You know what they call a stone cutter? Somebody that sits down and then chisels stones that are used for building. 2 of them were interviewed. The guy went to the first guy and said, "Hey, what are you doing?" "Oh, I'm just cutting stones and getting paid at the end of the month." The second person was interviewed. "What are you doing?" "Oh, I'm cutting stones that we use in building the biggest cathedral in Nigeria, and we are looking forward to that cathedral." From the 2 answers, you can actually know who is having a job and who is having a career as a stone cutter. Am I with you guys? Okay, so I'm going to jump this, but it lines up a lot of things. A job is just something you do for money, whereas a career is a long-term endeavor, something you build towards and work upon every day. Hard work pays. A job is just a role, but a career is made up of a combination of roles, experiences, education, and pathways you take to achieve your goals. A job may give you, I'm reading the last one now, D. A job may give you a steady paycheck, which is purely short term. And don't forget, when people are being laid off, the people on the job are the ones that usually get laid off. And in fact, if someone that has a career is being laid off, he can always jump into another because of what? Because he has an experience. A job may give you that steady paycheck, but a career gives you that long financial security, as it encourages you to build on your skills and continue learning in order to move up the career ladder. As technology changes, industries evolve, or situations like recessions cause some jobs to become unstable, a career acts like a safety net. The more skills, qualifications, and experiences you have in your career area, the more prepared you will be in any situation, all weather. So we have actually discussed the issue about a career. When does it start? Is it after graduation? Is it while you enroll for your ND? Whatever, you just need to know at this stage you are set for your career. And there are different types of career path: knowledge-based, skill-based, which is more of physical, and entrepreneur-based, and of course it's the freelance. While you are doing this, you can do something that is your love. You can be a DJ while you are still working on board the vessel. So those are the ones we call the freelance. And of course, in seeking a job, often it's the job that gives you the pathway for career. You could be either in private sector, you could be either in public sector. MBA means ministries, directorates, and agencies, or in not-for-profit NGOs. There's a question. Is it disappointing if I end up at something different from my field of study? Is it disappointing? No. There have been, even amongst my mates, some of our colleagues have ventured into different sectors. Some doing excellently in businesses, some in politics, some in every other thing. Your career can change at any point in time. So getting set for a successful career after graduation, it is a process that commences either before graduation or just at the verge of graduation. There are severe consequences if this point is missed. You miss the point of realizing that, look, I'm at the point of starting my career. You could result into mental issues or a general apathy, surrendering. Hey, Nigeria, nothing good comes out of it. You need to know somebody before you move. Yes, even though I have a job, but because the MD doesn't like me, I'm not progressing. So there are vital steps for you, NYSC or C training. You have to identify the basic ingredients of your planned career, the career you're going in for. What are the success factors? Some people will call it key performance indicators. Some will call it critical success factors. What are the factors that are critical to your making it? Basic education. Now you have the basic education. Some people after this will think of furthering their education. Some could take what they call a gap year. It's not really popular in Nigeria. Here, some students will just decide, hey, I'm not going to do anything for the next 1 year. I just want to tour the world, just want to get experience and see the other side of the world. You can consider graduate school or becoming a research assistant or work in your academic institution. I know that some old cadets that are working in this school, in the academy here. You can find a volunteer job opportunities, get an internship, make your passion your job. Like I said, you may have been a navigator, but some people still end up in the music industry. Find temporary job. This has some risk because a temporary job could so suck you in that you miss the opportunities of looking for other jobs. Consider a public service position. This is the ongoing thing in Nigeria. Japan, or seeking a job abroad. Take an apprenticeship. That young man that wrote to us, after the search and rescue ship he's working for is actually not a Nigerian vessel. It's a foreign vessel. He applied in Nigeria with Nigerian COC and had the job. So people will tell you, oh, the COC you have, you cannot get a job. That's one example. To take that bold step, there's no risk in trying. Start a business. Some people do that. Go for more training. Go for skill acquisition. Recall what he did. He went for more skill acquisition. Learn soft skill, professional or vocational skills. And of course, from this level, you get to a very important point, which is called an interview. I personally brought this in because this is where a lot of people fail. Yes, you finish, you have all your qualifications, you need to step into the next stage. And the door is through an interview. Often it is the last door before you walk into your career. You should be taken very seriously and thus serious preparations. Prepare for every interview. Go to the website of the company you are going to go for. Go through the website. Read everything about the company. Questions may be asked about the company. In fact, always be a bit critical. Look at something you can correct them. Imagine in the interview, when you finish your interview, you just said, oh, I noticed a thing on your website which I think is not correct. Can you guys change it? The panelists will look at you as somebody that's very serious. That's somebody that cares about the company. Arrange your necessary documents. Get your documentation ready. For us, we know the mandatories. Get your mandatories. Validate them at all times. It's not a situation a job opportunity will crop on and then you say, oh, my international passport is expiring in 6 months. When you are at the interview, make eye contact, open yourself as a book, and appear truthful and real. Unnecessary respect and subservient countenance and behaviors may not take you anywhere. You go for an interview, yes sir, yes sir. Some people just look at you and laugh. Just be objective. Don't go there behaving like a servant. You are not a servant. Plan how to deal with questions. Often in an interview, when you finish, they say, do you have any question? There's some no. Or some will be stupid enough to ask about salary. How much salary will you pay? Don't be focused on salary. Let it be that they are the ones that will call you on a salary. If it's a standard organization, a standard company, they would have had their scale. You are employed at this level. So this is a salary band. So ask intelligent questions, HR-related questions, professional-related questions. Okay? And don't get too tense when you're going for an interview. Just go there for fun. You're going for fun and learning because if they didn't take you, for every interview you attend, there's always a learning, something you can take back home to put in for the next one. Have in mind, have it in mind that it is an opportunity for you to sell yourself. You are going to sell yourself. So be ready as a salesman to sell yourself that you are the best candidate in the interview. Read more on interviews. Read more on interviews. And know that it is time for you to lecture the panelists. You are going there to lecture the panelists. Peradventure, the question that are asked, you cannot answer. Don't play around. Tell them clearly, this aspect, I don't think I have the answer. However, if I'm employed, if I'm given the opportunity, I know I will be given a body. With the body, I'm a fast learner. I will get to know this very well. Okay, So these are still part of the vital steps. Okay, so let's assume you finish your interview, you've secured the job. So remember what we did from graduation. The next level is interview. So we now move into, now you have the job, conquering and claiming the land. Most people focus on securing a job, but are bankrupt on the knowledge about sustaining it. You need to know how to hold down a job. Connections may take you there. Remember what we said about the no side, deflated side? Connections may take you there, but it may certainly not sustain you. Talent and intelligence, brains are not enough. Your attitude is key. There's a popular saying which you're all familiar with that says that your attitude determines your altitude. The spirit of excellence incorporates attitude. A bad attitude is like a flat tire. It takes you nowhere. If you don't have a good job opportunity, how can you exhibit the spirit of excellence? That's the question some people say. I'm not given a job. How can I show the spirit of excellence? But at every point in time, aim at excelling. Your excelling is not about putting down somebody for you to be lifted up. Your work should speak for you. In holding down a job, the employer has their own responsibility, and the individuals also have their responsibility. You just must be sure that the job you are going in for, that you will have job satisfaction. There's what we call job satisfaction index. Because if you are not satisfied with a job, it will affect your performance. Make sure the job you are going for is what you love. Also get to study about the recruitment and retention policy of the company you are going for. Some companies don't have these policies. And so you get in, they treat you like an idiot, you get so distraught, you get so frustrated. And of course, your performance starts dipping. Make sure you have, at every point in time, your career goal. What do you want to be? In the next 2 years, where do you want to be? In the next 5 years, where do you want to be? In the next 10 years, where do you want to be? Then develop your career. What you call career development. Remember, at every point in time, you must satisfy your employer to justify your being retained. Because the big question every employer will ask themselves at every point is, Mr. B, why am I keeping Mr. B? So that question, you will answer it through your performance. Also, this is expanding more on the job satisfaction index, which you need to really study in building up your career. So I'm not going to spend much time there because of time. Also expanded more on the recruitment and retention policy. Often, because there are no jobs, people just tend to pick up any job. They don't care about all this. But where you have the choice, please, these are very critical things, because at the end of the day, you see, the psychological aspect is key. Your performance is linked to how satisfied you are with the job you are taking. So your career goals, set your career goals. Identify the skills needed. So I am employed at level 8. So what do I need to move to the next level? At every point in time, always be ready for the next level promotion. Don't just stay at level 8 and then be satisfied and then go back to rest. No. Have everything that is enough to move you to the next level, because the guy ahead of you could be suspended. The guy ahead of you could decide to change his job, and they need somebody to fill. They would prefer to take an insider than to go out for recruitment. So at every point in time, make sure that you are qualified for the next job. So these are just guidance for setting your goals, which will be, we use the REAL acronym to explain it. Relevant indicates why it's important and worthwhile. Experimental implies development activity that would lead to greater insight. Aspirational and learning based. So career development, some call it 6 stages, some do 4 stages. These are the stages in career development. You need to develop your career. You are an architect of your career. Okay, so before we get to this level now, we are almost halfway through. Essential skills for your career development. So can all the graduates stand up? Look at the way you are standing up like pregnant. Stand up, guys. Yeah, I expect to see that from you. Make sure you don't hit your neighbor. Can you stretch your hand with your eyes open? Okay, so stretch it this way, all of you. What you're going to do, don't turn, standing on your waistline, move to the farthest your hand can go. Note the point with your eyes open. Can you go? Stretch your hand. No, look that way. Stretch as far as you can go. As far as you can go. Can you note the mark? The farthest your hand can go. Okay, come back to your initial position. Can you now close your eyes? So swing your hand again. So listen to me now. I'm telling you where to go. Continue going. Go. 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 Stop. Open your eyes. Can you see where you are now? Hello? Is it further than the point you did with your eyes open? So sometimes, sit down now. What am I trying to demonstrate to you? The eyes can actually be deceptive. Your eyes can actually limit you. There is life beyond uncertainty. With your eyes closed, you will now move into the world of uncertainty. You could see, even in that wall, you actually went further than where you went with your eyes open. Did you get the significance of that exercise? Okay, so we'll go to essential skill for your future career. Study hard, but don't forget to focus on soft skills. Soft skills are selling. A short survey conducted among the students of Ban Ki-moon Institute for Sustainable Development found that 74% of respondents believe that soft skills are more important. Soft skills sometimes are universal, are transferable. Make sure you develop enough soft skills. Some skills are transferable, that's number 2, across many fields. There are some skills you have, like project management, HSC. You can actually move from oil and gas to whatever business. So those are the kind of skills you should go on for. Even as you are having a job, work on your skills. Don't forget about strong communication skill. This is where most people get it wrong. Communication skill is vital. It's not just about telling somebody good morning. The person can read it differently. Make sure whatever comes out, however it comes out, it is the same way the person will receive it. Some of you can't even answer questions. While I was in my last company, one of the stakeholders called and complained about an officer that went for inspection and was very rude to him, the owner of the business. And when I called the guy, I said, hello, is this? Yes, who are you? That was his response. And then I called him to order. I introduced myself. Oh, sir, I said, don't sir me. Somebody just called to complain about your attitude. And you have proven it in this phone call. So communication skill is big. Please, skill. Body language. And often our body language speaks more than the words that come out, especially the ladies. You can give an attitude. Good morning. And the guy reads it differently. Okay. Learn a new technology. Now we have autonomous shipping. You need to start learning. Are there courses related to such? Because that's the new frontier. That's where shipping is heading to. Don't wait until it comes knocking, until it becomes compulsory for people to go. Be on the front. Be the front runner. Be the John the Baptist of autonomous shipping. Emotional intelligence is very important. Watch the countenance of your boss. If you go in and see him not in a very good mood, okay, I'm very sorry, sir, I'll come back. Let him be the one that says, yes, please come in. Don't just go not caring about how he's looking and then you just go bam, 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 bam. You're going to get wrong. You're going to get the bounce back. Emotional intelligence is big, is deep, and it will open doors for you. Okay, so in summary, tips for holding down a job: having the right attitude. Some people are introverted and they refuse to socialize with their colleagues. That's a bad attitude. Some are less interested in details and deadlines. Bad attitude. You are set in your own ways. Some are set in their own ways. You can't change them. I actually told one person that worked with me, I said, you think you're assertive? So, because sometimes she gets assertive on very wrong points. I said, that's stupidity. Don't press on things you are not sure of. Okay. So some are critical, some are negative, and some align with office gossip. Okay, Parakwa is from Calabar, so I align with all the Calabar people in my office. It's from a Yoruba land, I align with all the Yorubas in my office. Hausa, I align with Hausa people in my office. Please move beyond that point. Move beyond that point. Think and act on profession development. That's what we call a PDP, not the political party. Personal development plan. Design your own personal development plan. What do you want to be? What do you need to be at the next level? Okay, know your employer and stay current with their happenings. Know about your job. Know about the company you're working for. The latest and the topical issues related to your kind of business, be very familiar because you may be called to defend the company. Manage your boss. A lot of people don't know how to manage their bosses. It doesn't mean go and pray over him that whatever you say will listen to you. No. Understand your boss. Know what it's like. It's not about giving him gift or eye service. Those things don't last. But work with your boss. It's your boss. If you are strong on a point, so I think we should do it, and your boss said, no, go and do it this way. No problem, sir. I will do it. Go and do it the way you want. Present it back to him. But you had nicely highlighted that, sir, this could have been done the other way. So manage your boss, pick up a mentor, and formalize yourself. The trick about mentorship is this. If you go to an organization, or even on board the vessel, you can move to the chief man, not even the next person, and say, Chief, I see the way you work. I just love your attitude. Please, can you be my mentor? You can go to the captain, tell him you want him to be your mentor. I want to use you as a referee in my this. You'll be amazed at the kind of support you can get from them. Avoid lateness and closing before time. Even though some companies, they say, oh, look, we are strict on time. You start by 9, close by 4. Don't close by 4 all the time. Sometimes stretch a bit. Let your boss notice and say, Frank, you're still in the office. You should have been gone. Oh, well, I just needed to finish it before leaving. Those things add up. Show capacity for more. That is where promotion can come. Supporting others, offering to take additional work. Effective and efficient management of time and resources. To date, if I go to the office in the morning, I actually will put up 8 o'clock to 9 o'clock. This is what I'm going to do. 10 to 11, this is what I'm going to do. Sometimes you don't do them, but they guide you. Time management is very critical. Okay? And there's also what we call the difference between effort and result. I send you, I say, go and buy me a pencil. After 2 hours, you return. Oh, sir, sorry. I went to Oron. I didn't see pencil. I decided to go to Calabar. I didn't see. I decided to go to Uyo. I didn't see. I went to Tinan. I didn't see. Wow, Oga, it's difficult to find a pencil. All those things are effort. What did the guy ask you for? A pencil. Result. Where is it? In fact, I had a boss before. When you go through all those stories, you just say, my friend, those are effort. In fact, where is my pencil? I want my pencil. So all those efforts get you nowhere. Because sometimes in putting effort, you were very inefficient. Okay. So get organized, do your job. The COC you have is called Certificate of Competency. Please check the meaning of that word, competency. Some of them are COP, Certificate of Proficiency. It means you have to be good. They are not academic qualifications. You have to be competent. So in whatever you are being given, please be competent. Follow the rules. Sticklers of the rules always are on the good books of management. Read and understand your employer's policy and procedure manual. Live by the core values and the missions to vision statement of your company. Be a team player. Be grateful at all times. At every point in time, be grateful that you are employed. You know how many people are out there not having a job? So when you have that attitude of gratefulness, in fact, some of us actually call it thanks living. You are living a thankful life. Thanks living. When you are grateful for having that job, you will do your best to sustain it. And be positive at all times. Even when things are going down, things are not so positive, you can still go to your manager and tell him, Oga, we know things are going this way, but let's put more effort. Let's work together. I am sure the future is good for us. Okay, so reasons people struggle with getting a job after graduation: by not being prepared, not being proactive, not having enough experience. That we know it can be a general issue. Not making it about the employer, it's all about themselves. Not doing enough research. So briefly, towards the end now, career at sea, because most of you are coming to the seaside. So let's talk about the career at sea. These are generic information, so we all know this. Shipping is a global business regulated by IMO. We know that ships may be owned by one country, registered in another country. We all know that. So have you thought about your career at sea? This will involve training from cadet level to an officer level on general cargo or passenger vessels. Typically, the presenter yesterday highlighted, under Blue Economy, highlighted some sectors that people can get employed. These are the number of people, estimated number of people employed in different sectors in the UK. I can't remember the year, but it's somewhere there. So you could see for classification societies, 2,800 people, consultants to surveyors, this number of people. So you need to understand, there's what we call maritime cluster. Maritime cluster means all the available sectors in your maritime environment that people can get jobs in. So that's the summary from the UK. Before we start this, every time I look at my CV, the most important point in my CV, and for all of you, is the fact that you passed out of the academy. That's the most important point, because I'm going to show you the maritime clusters of all the countries. You could see the starting point for all of them is Maritime College. So for you to survive in Blue Economy, for you to survive in the maritime sector, this is the best. And you have that. So that's your foundation. No one can take that foundation away from you. So all you need to do now is to build on it. So this is the maritime cluster for United Kingdom. The different sectors from the maritime colleges where the people ventured into. That's the one for Netherlands. You could see the ones, graduates from schools, shipping colleges, and other entrants. So maritime training institution remains the base. That's the one for Italy. They call it nautical school in Italy. This actually came out from a study that EU sponsored on career path in the maritime sector. It was handled by Solvent University. This is a career path for Germany from their maritime cluster. So you have seen that you have the right foundation. It's now for you to decide which path you need to follow and build on it. So for education and training, I just put this for information purposes. Life at sea, the career path at sea. And of course, we all know for us at sea that every level requires different level of education, different level of sea training, every level for you to build your career. But you need to plan. From the day you start your job, start saving for the next level. If your company delays sending you, let me tell you guys a story. When we were in the then Nigerian National Shipping Line, I left them as a third officer. At a point, if you look at the scale, I was like about the number 45 on promotion line. Yeah? 45 in the promotion line to be moved to second officer. We made some money. I went to school, did my chief mate as a third officer. By the time I came back from school, I moved to number 5 on the scale to be promoted. If you wait for your company, your progression is going to be slow. Be intentional about your career path. Like I said, it is in your hand. So still on the different career paths, still highlighting some of the sectors that maritime cadets could actually end up as a career. They're all listed here. So qualities of a good cadet, a training on board the vessel, since most of you or some of you will be going back to sea, you need to have some qualities. Willingness to learn and willingness to work. Mentally and physically stable. Sometimes you get abused, especially if you are working outside your country. Those of us that left Nigeria to Singapore when the national shipping line went down, we know what we went through. Some guys fought, and in less than 6 months they were sent back to Nigeria. But we endured. Sometimes they'll call you rubbish name. You don't care. In your mind, you are grateful you have an opportunity. Just face your work. Get promoted. That's all you need. And in less than no time, it paid off. Pride is that which keeps a lot of people down. So be conscientious and trustworthy. Have an ethical mind. Be a team player. Possess high sense of responsibility. Be sure, do all it takes to ensure that you are being seen as a responsible person. There are responsibilities you can be handed over responsibilities. You need precision skills to work and avoid making mistakes. So what are some challenges faced by seafarers? As seafarers stay away from home, you could be lonely and blah, blah. Sea robbery, the security aspect now. Thank God for the Deep Blue project that is really helping. And we are hoping that at a point that our waterways will be safe. Physical risk and injuries on board the vessel. Restricted shore leave. This could affect mental health. Personal and health issue, poor manning levels on some ships, fatigue and stress, unfavorable maritime laws in some ports, frequent changes to IMO legislation leading to suspension of necessary licenses, wages and welfare-related matters in some companies, politics and conflict on the ships. These are some challenges that people will face on board the vessel. So key points to keeping your job or growing your career. Know your environment. Plan your career and set your direction. Periodically do your self-assessment. What are your strengths? What are your weaknesses? What are the opportunities available to you? And what are the threats to your making it? Focus on the target market. If you look at the ships, what are the kind of ships you really need to? Which ships are selling more now? Which ships are employing more now? So focus on those ones. Network with the right people. Every person you meet is a connection that may be needed in the future. Don't discount networking. Dress and speak appropriately. Be willing to adapt to changes, especially technological changes. Now on manned vessels. So it means eventually we'll get to the point that people will stay in the room and pilot ships. Are you prepared for such? So as you are going, find something to do with respect to remote control of ships. I'm sure some schools are now working on curriculum that will be taught to students. Be willing to learn always. Have a positive attitude. Stay focused. So, coming to the end. Today marks the completion of another leg, a milestone in your lives, of the journey of life, and heralds your maturity to take the lead and change the world. The world that is open to you today is very competitive. I think it was the registrar that said it, that the world today is competitive. It is highly competitive. In some countries, like in the Middle East, that you have less applicants and more job opportunities. people can afford to be complacent. But in our society, that if you advertise for one position, over 20,000 will apply. Means it is very competitive. Okay? So the world that is open to you today is very competitive and full of uncertainties. And it is not for the faint-hearted. It is not for the faint-hearted. Speak to yourself. One of the best movies I've watched is called King of Comedy by Robert De Niro when he started. He said he wanted to be King of Comedy, a joker. And he did. One of the things he did was he wrote a script, no audience, he had pictures posted all around his house. So those pictures were what he called his audience. They were nobody, just pictures of people. And then he would rehearse by the mirror. And eventually, he became he was crowned the King of Comedy. You know? So encourage yourself. Huh? So you have been equipped by going through this school. You are armed. And so, what do we say to you? Step out there and be the Alexandra the Great of this generation. You know, like they say in Star Wars, may the Force be with you. You are the biggest success factor. Take responsibility always. No matter what happens in life, be good to people. Before I go to the next slide, I think I had just one line here. Let me just read that bit and then we can now round up. So what I had here is this. Your today will someday be your past. And it may come back to haunt you. Make sure in everything you do, have a clean record, an amicable break. History can be very unforgiving. And so, the graduates, you're all above 18, so I can still call you ladies and gentlemen. I've come to the end of my presentation today. And what was the topic again? Let's praise ourselves. Okay, thank you. So I hope the little I've said are well aligned with the topic that I was given, which is getting set for a successful career after graduation and the tips for holding down a job successfully. So like we said, guys, go out there, conquer the world, and God bless you all. Thank you.
A beautiful and a resounding applause there for Captain Umoran Michael. Please make that a resounding applause till he gets to his seat. Do not stop clapping. Thank you so very much, sir, for giving us quite a robust and an anonymous paper presentation there. Thank you very much. That was quite a very rich paper presentation. Is that all you can do for the captain? Very striking work there, ladies and gentlemen. Emphatically, Captain Michael Umoran has told us to be a team player, to be grateful at all times, and to be positive. Very distinguished guest. Don't forget, he said, history may be very unforgiving. Please, a round of applause one more time for Captain Umoran. Thank you very much, taking us higher to the next level in this paper presentation series. Very distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I'd like you to please Join me as I will be handing over this section to Mr. Eto for handling interview question. Please, a round of applause for him. If your hands are not busy, please put them together for Mr. Eto. Don't stop clapping. Clap, clap, clap. Keep clapping till he gets to the microphone. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you very much, MC. We appreciate the good work you are doing. I'm here to... Sorry, MC. Give me... Okay, so we've been enjoying ourselves listening to all the expositions that Captain More brought to us. He was here last year. This year again is here. Cadets, are you enjoying yourselves? Are you getting the maximum benefits? Whatever it is that is coming your way from here, don't take it for granted at all. Take note of everything. From what Captain More did, you could see that he emptied himself for you to have, to be equipped with what it takes to be a winner out there. Out there is competitive. Competitive. I'm going to be showing to you some questions you may likely come across during interviews that you may come across as you journey through your career. There are things you need to bear in mind. Now, to start with, I have some nuggets of wisdom. They are more or less like trying to buttress some things that Captain More had mentioned as he was delivering his paper. So let's just quickly run through them. Be humble in the display of superior knowledge, particularly towards your superiors. Be punctual to work, ready to take on extra responsibilities as a team player. Better ask foolish questions, foolish in quotes, than make stupid mistakes, which can cost the organization money and result in loss of job. Do not pull anybody down just to gain undue advantage. Do not be an opportunist. Seek for ways to improve your skills, acquire additional knowledge, and wait patiently for better opportunities. The education you have received has placed you on a career path with a wide range of opportunities. It is now left for you to explore the limitless scope of opportunities by being prepared. The secret of success is to be prepared when opportunities come. Chance favors the prepared mind. Life does not give people what they want. Life gives them what they prepare for. There is no traffic jam on the extra mile. No traffic jam. Always go the extra mile to be better than your peers without appearing to be competitive. Be ready to take extra responsibilities. Be ready to take extra responsibilities when the need arises without appearing to be over ambitious. Go the extra mile to do your job when others are giving excuses. Do not seek for shortcut to the top. Shortcut cause people short. Don't take the easy road. Start reading books. One of the questions you may be asked during the interview is, what was the last book you read? We'll come to it later. Respect others as you would expect you. Practice gratitude. No work is beneath you. Don't bother what other people are thinking about you. You don't have to impress anyone. Don't make assumptions. Always verify your information. Luck works for you if hard work runs. That is, if you activate hard work, luck, if there's anything like luck at all, which I don't believe in, luck will work for you. Be patient and persistent. Learn something new every day. Continuously improve yourself. Believe in God, believe in yourself. That's talking about self-confidence. Life is a multiple choice test. Your priorities are determined by your principles. Your priorities determine your choices. Your choices determine both your direction and the unique set of opportunities that will come your way. There is nothing like good luck, but there is God's love called providence. Your principles determine your priorities. Your priorities determine your choices. Your choices determine where you go, direction. The way you go will determine what opportunities will come your way. Number 18, fear God. The God factor determines the final outcome because by strength shall no man prevail. A horse may be prepared for the day of battle, but safety is of the Lord. Number 19, no wind favors him who has no destined pot. Be focused, be willing, be available, be ready, be prayerful, and all things work together for your good. Be optimistic, be resilient, take care of your health. Don't drive yourself into an early grave. Live with purpose. Because what life is all about is purpose. What life is all about is purpose. And have passion for whatever you do. Contribute to something bigger than yourself, your community, the world. Embrace the principle of community service. Barack Obama, ever before he went to the House of Representatives in America, he had been doing community service. Voluntary services, no pay. He's from the state of Illinois, Chicago. So he was doing community service all over the place. And he won the people's hearts. By the time he was not ready to go to House of Rep, it was a landslide victory. And then by the time he was campaigning for presidency, he had already won himself into the House of the people. So community service pays. Everything is not money. Everything is not money. Money will come, but show what you can do first. So let's look at some interview questions you may come across in a competitive environment. They will ask you, why should we hire you? The reason why they will hire you, give the reason to align with the job. Your answer, I have qualifications, I am a team player, I take direction or instruction, I have experience. And if you don't have experience, you don't have to say you have experience. But at least you know that you have the qualifications. You have experience and skills that will add value to the team, the company. I am teachable. I'm committed to accomplish goals set by the company. I'm a confident person. I'm confident that I will excel in whatever role I play as a team player. You see this issue of team player. Employers are not looking for lone rangers. They are looking for people that can, align with others and carry the organization along. There's no lone ranger anywhere. Whatever anybody achieves is as a result of teamwork. And if you're not a team worker, you can never achieve anything, even as a leader. Even as a leader. Look at what is happening in the academy, for instance. The rector is a wonderful team player. He's leading the team and is carrying everybody along. Information is flowing left and right. People are being carried along. All the heads of the department, the directors are being informed about this and that. And that is it. And so you can, now, the strength of a chain is the weak link. You must not be the weak link. You must strive to be in step with others. Wherever you are lacking, always make sure that you try to cover and bridge the gap. You know your weaknesses. Whatever your weaknesses are, work on your weaknesses so that you not be the weak link. Okay, let's look at the B part of the questions. It has to do with your greatest strength. If they ask you, what is your greatest strength? It's to do with the job. It's not with how much bags of cement you can carry or how much you can endure some physical tasks. It's about the job. So what do you say? I believe in planning and proper management of my time. And yet I can work under pressure. That is strength. I am reliable. That is strength. I have the ability to stick with difficult tasks, yet change a course rapidly when required. I am a determined person. All of these are indicators that you are a strong person. C, what are your outstanding qualities? That has to do with your profile, your personality profile, your drive. You can say, I have drive. I desire to get things done. I am goal-oriented. I have energy. I'm very energetic. I am inclined to give the extra effort in little things as well as important matters. I have good communication skills. I am a determined person. Those are the answers you should give when they ask you what are your outstanding qualities. Then, what did you learn from your previous job? If you have ever had any job before, they will ask you, what did you learn from your previous job? You will say, I seek and I can accept constructive advice. That's from experience. My business decisions are based on the ultimate good of the company, not my personal whim or preferences. What is good for the company is good for me. That means that you have the corporate good, you have the good of the company at heart. That's very, very important. I listen carefully to direction. I always keep my boss informed of my actions. If you are confused, ask. That is what I learned from my previous job. I learned that when I'm confused, I better ask questions that will put me on the right track instead of just doing whatever I like. That's what they want to hear. It is better to ask a naive question than make stupid mistakes. It is better to promise less and produce more. The next question. What do you have that others don't have? Ability to see a project through to its proper conclusion. And that is, I am disciplined, I'm a decisive person, I'm a determined person. Number 2, I listen carefully and I take direction. Number 3, I am analytical and I don't jump to conclusion. Number 4, we are in business for profit. I keep my eyes on the cost and the returns. That's very important. That means you are not a wasteful person. Okay. What kind of things do you worry about? They ask you a question, what do you worry about? It is not about your family issues or your community issues. It is to do with the job. What do you worry about? If they ask you what you worry about, let it be job specific. You can tell them, I worry about deadlines. You know what deadlines are, cadets? What are deadlines? When you are given a deadline, it means what? You must deliver the result before a particular date. So you tell them you worry about deadlines. That's very important. Number 2, you worry about staff turnover. You know what staff turnover is? What is it? Staff turnover. What's staff turnover? Oh yeah, speak now. I can see your hands up. What's staff turnover? Yes. The rate at which employees leave, they exit. So why should you be worried about it? Why should it be a thing you worry about? Because of it will create vacuum. There will be lapses. You create lapses. There will be vacuum. When people are leaving, it's supposed to be a team. Some people are leaving, then who takes up the position that others are going to? So when you tell them you worry about such things, they will know that you have the interest of the company at heart and you desire stability. You desire stability. Okay, then one of the things you also worry about is tardiness, lateness, and delay. Lateness. That means you don't go to work late. And that means you don't drag your feet when you're given assignment to do. So you tell them, I worry about tardiness. I worry about people coming late to work. When people come late to work, it means your own part of the job will suffer. Because it's supposed to be a teamwork. Is it true? It's true. It's true. Sometimes by 7, I'm already in my office. 7. Is it true, cadet? Yes. Because I know that the day, it doesn't have to be 9 o'clock. When you know you have a lot of things ahead of you, you go there, that's putting the job ahead. Okay, so the next one is defection of staff to the competition. When staff defect to the competition, I'm not happy. Why? Because we are opening the to overtake us. That is, so when you tell them you worry about such things, they will know that you're a serious person. Next one is backup plans. You tell them, I worry about backup plans. Companies that don't have backup plans, it makes me very edgy. Now, what do you mean by backup plans? What do you mean by backup plans? For a company to have a backup plan means what? Or not have backup plan? What does it mean? Yes, thank you, sir. I don't know whether they understand. That's another big grammar. Captain Moore is a contingency plan. Do you understand that one? Okay, what's backup plan? Oh, yeah, now speak now.
If a company does not have a backup plan, it shows that the company is not intentional in growth.
I didn't hear that.
If a company does not have backup plan, it shows that the company is not intentional in growth.
It shows that
the company is not intentional in making growth.
I didn't get that too.
Company is not intentional with growth.
Okay. Yeah, okay, you are taking it a step further. But what exact plan? That's true.
Another cadet here.
What is backup plan? Okay, give me evidences of backup plan in a company.
So, backup plan. These are contingency plans made in case a particular policy or plan or project does not fall through. So this is what we refer back to continue on our path.
So give me examples of backup plan.
Okay, so the most basic example of the backup plan, maybe let's say for the power system.
Okay.
There's no lights, we have the gen.
Good. That's a backup plan. Thank you.
So another one here.
Yes. However, in an office setting, what backup plan can you put in place?
In an office setting, the backup plan in an office setting is, for instance, let's say a company is running on a loss now. So the backup plan will be what will be in place so that
what you fall back on, right? God bless you. Thank you. Put your hands together for these cadets. Yeah. So you tell them you worry about backup plans. That when there are no backup plans in place in a company, it makes you very edgy. That's a nice one. Okay. Let's go to the next one. They now ask you, tell us about yourself. This is a tricky question. Tell us about yourself. Why are they asking you to tell them about yourself? They have your CV. So what you should do is to put it back to them. This is what you will say. What area of my background will be most interesting to you? When you put it to them like that, it shows you're intelligent. You don't just start singing. They have your CV already. So you ask them, what part of my background would you like to hear? Fine. Then you can now begin to say, okay, say something about your honesty, your integrity, your being a team player. You know, you've traveled, you've seen a lot of things. You think you can bring a change into the organization. Just say things like that. Okay. They may ask you, what did you like or dislike about your last job or your last boss? If they ask you that question, the trick about that question is you may want to say something about that your boss that this person asking you also has in his character. So what I don't like my last boss was that he was always smoking in the office. This person talking to me may be a smoker. So what do? You will say you like everything. The only reason why you moved on was because you wanted to improve in your career. Okay, so how did you like or dislike your last job? I like everything. I only left to seek for where to make greater contribution and face bigger challenges. Then the next question is, how do you feel about your progress to date? I see each day as an opportunity to learn and contribute. And I see the environment here as conducive to my best efforts. And by the way, cadets, let me stop here and chip in this. Ever before you go for any interview, make sure that you do some research about that company. Find out a lot about them. Because a time will come when they will ask you, is there any question? Those questions, we'll get to know them. We'll get to see them very shortly. So, how long, they ask you, how long will you stay with the organization if you are employed? Your question will be, I like to settle down with this organization. I take these directions well and enjoy learning. As long as I'm growing professionally, there will be no reason to leave. That's a good answer. You can't tell them, in 3 years' time I will leave. Will you get the job? You tell them 3 years. When the others are there waiting to take the job and they may be there for only God knows when. So tell them, as long as I'm growing professionally and I'm adding to my knowledge, there are opportunities for me to grow, I will stay. It means that you are a progressive person. So how many hours a week do you find it necessary to work to get the job done? I try to plan my time effectively and usually can. I put in whatever effort it takes to get the job finished. It all depends on the project. That's very nice. It means you are flexible. Say, no, I only put in 8 hours. After that, I have to go and take care of my family. You won't get that job. You will not. What you tell them is that as much effort as is required to get the job done, I'll put in. The next question is, can you work under pressure? Yes. I usually find it stimulating. However, I believe in planning and proper management of my time to reduce panic deadlines within my area of responsibility. Then they will now ask you, do you have any question? Before we even say that, what if they ask you, what was the last book you read? What did you learn from the last book you read? You see that? That means you should be reading. Form the habit of reading books. Because it may come up as an interview. What book did you read last? Because a reader is a leader. Good. So you have to keep reading. Then they may ask you, do you have any question for us? These are some questions you can ask them to show that you have the interest of the company at heart and that you are intelligent and that you are open-minded. Look at it. These are some questions. What is the future direction of this company? You may ask them that question. Number 2, you may ask, how does the firm differentiate itself from the competitors? That's an intelligent question. In what way is this firm different from the competitors? Because the truth is that there should be a point of difference. That's where the brand name comes from. That's where the uniqueness of the company, that's where it comes from. In what way is this company different from other companies? Number 3, what are the immediate projects the department or the company is involved in? What is keeping the company going as we speak? What are the projects? What are the issues? What are the things on the front burner? The next question is, what are the biggest challenges being tackled now? Do these questions make sense? Do they make sense? Of course. Then, number 5, what specific skills or personality traits do you think are necessary for a person to succeed with those challenges? Number 6, what exactly will be the 3 major responsibilities in this job? Number 7, why is the job open? This is very important. Why are we having this vacancy? What happened to the person that was there before? What happened to the person that was in this position before? You see, because you don't just rush in. Somebody left. Why did he leave? Let them tell you. And then maybe from that point, whether you make up your mind whether you want the job or not. Okay. So, who had it last? What happened to them? Does the job require internal training? What type of training? Then lastly, what is the ownership structure of the company? You see, these are very intelligent questions if you can ask them. If you can ask them these questions, it shows that you are a person of direction and purpose. You are an intelligent person and you know exactly what you are looking for. So after this session now, we want to call... All right, thank you.
Thank you very much. I think our director deserves another round of applause for those exposé. very quite educative and instructive section. We appreciate you, sir, for that eye-opening questions and answers that you had us go through this morning. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to recognize, while the lecture was ongoing, we had members of the management team join us this morning. We have with us this morning the presence of the Director, Entrepreneurship and Skills Acquisition, Mr. B.B. Ayo. A round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. You're welcome, sir. We also have with us this morning the Director of the School of Nautical Studies, Captain E.S. Uwak. A round of applause for Captain. And also we have the Head of Research and Strategic Development, Dr. Udo Felix Evans. A round of applause for Dr. Felix. All right, I want to appreciate those who are watching us online on YouTube or Facebook. We are seeing you all, and one of our ex-cadets watching from the US sends her greetings to all of us, and we also want to say we appreciate you for also joining online. Thank you to all our online audience. As you are here live in this auditorium, people are also watching everywhere, and we want to say thank you for all those joining us online. You can send the link, although we are winding down, but tomorrow is going to be the graduation proper. You can now send the link by today or tomorrow, hopefully, to all the online, your friends, your family that can't join you, so that they can watch you graduating tomorrow. Ladies and gentlemen, we also, while Captain was speaking, and while Mr. Eto was talking, I saw some cadets writing notes and some cadets taking pictures of the slides up here. That's very commendable, and it shows that you guys really want to change. I would want to say that I'm sure the speakers have these things ready for the cadets, so that I need them too, sir. I need it. Especially the one you just gave, Mr. Eto. I need it, because we will all definitely face one or two situations where we will need to answer some questions. One more time, a round of applause for our speakers this morning. They have done so very well.
All right, thank you so very much, my co-anchor, Mr. Samuel. Thank you so much, everyone, and also to our online community as well. At this point in time, very distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, we will be having the interactive section. And to take us on that, I'll leave it in the hands of Dr. Evans. Please, a round of applause for Dr. Evans as he approaches the microphone to take us on this section, the interactive section.
Thank you very much. Can we give him a round of applause? Yes.
If you have your questions written down, please get ready. You'll be asking, and our resource persons will be here to address and also respond to whatever doubts you have as regards the papers that have been presented to you this morning. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to also bring to your remembrance that the theme for today's event is evolving career opportunities in the global blue economy. One more time, please. Let's give it up for Dr. Evans. The round of applause, please celebrate Dr. Evans one more time. Make it a resounding applause, gentlemen. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Once again, good morning to every one of us. On this interactive session, by the word interactive, we're going to do it together. It's not a lecture, but an interactive session. But before the floor is open, let us look at the question that was raised yesterday towards the close of yesterday's event. And the question goes thus. Sir, please, last year, you gave a seminar on green shipping and its advantages to pollution eradication. How will this blue economy work in conjunction with greener shipping to improve maritime sector. So here is talking about the interplay between the blue economy and the greener shipping in the improvement of the maritime sector. It's a very technical and very clever question. Before we allow for more interaction, I want to put it very clear that greener shipping aims at preserving the health of the ocean ecosystem. And greener shipping, as advocated by IMO, is a conservation effort to improve marine resources. Now, coming back to blue economy. Blue economy is simply sustainable exploitation of the marine resources. I want to believe that we are familiar with that word, exploitation. Cadets, am I right by saying that we are familiar with the word exploitation? Yeah, it's not the same as exploration. Exploration goes as far as searching for, but exploitation is the intentional use of the resources. So, by this, what do we think is the interplay between the two of them in improving the maritime sector? That is the question. Now, one, the two of them interplay to improve the corporate image of the maritime sector of a state. The blue economy, as well as the greener shipping, they interplay, they come together to improve the corporate image. Corporate. Then, two, they help in the reduction of voyage time. With the proper annexure of the two, it helps in reduction of the voyage time. And three, reduction in fuel consumption. There are so many advantages of the interplay, but for now, you can search for more. So can you give a round of applause to the person that raised the question yesterday? Okay, back to today's presentation. The floor is open for questions. I'm only moderating. Can we send the mic down for, yeah, I can see a hand there.
Good morning, sir. My name is Innocent Sebastian from the Electronics Department. So my question, earlier the captain made mention of introverts being a bad attitude at work. So my question is, would you pick an extrovert that produced an okay result over an introvert who shows outstanding results, and why? Thank you, sir.
Sorry, I didn't get the question clear. Can you just set it down?
The captain made mention earlier of introverts being a bad attitude to work. So my question is, would you pick an extrovert that produces an okay result over an introvert who shows an outstanding result, and why?
Okay, that's another interesting question. Captain, sir, is asking if you prefer to board an extrovert over an introvert.
Okay, that's a good one. As I highlighted earlier, what are we aiming at? Results. Okay. So I'm not going to talk about extroverts or introverts. I'm just going to talk about the team. I remember one advert. I think it's on IBM. The boss was going with his deputy for a meeting, and then asked the guy, "Are you prepared for the meeting?" He said, "Yes, yes." "Where is everything?" He said, "On his brain." So as they were walking down the aisle, the guy hit his head on a protrusion, fell, boom, he was gone. And the boss was like, "Whoa, what am I going to do?" I'm talking about results now. When it's centered on one person, remember sustainability, remember contingency planning that was highlighted by Doctor. If you have your result hanging on one person, you don't really have a sustainable organization. I don't know if you understand what I mean. So teamwork is the key. Extrovert and introvert, don't be on the extreme. You must mix up. At every point in time, be able to replicate yourself. Something will happen. The guy you bank on will just sleep and may probably not wake up. So where are you living? I don't know if you understand where I'm going. I don't want to come up with it. I don't like taking a yes or no answer. Actually not. But more on the practicability of these issues. So the guy being able to give results and he's just having it by himself. In fact, it's a risk. It's a risk to the organization. So that's the bit I can answer. I hope you understand what I'm trying to say. So don't just keep thinking to yourself. Share with others. Nobody's going to take your place. We will celebrate the originator of the solution.
Thank you very much, Captain. So you don't need to be at the extreme, but the midway, just like pH, the midway is an ideal point. You've learned about pH, right? So the middle point is number 7. It could be very ideal. Thank you. Next question. And what we're going to do, we'll take all the questions before we look at the responses. Next, it is important that you clear your doubts by asking questions. It's very important lectures we have received today, because as you set out from here, we are going into one career or the other.
Good morning, all. Good morning, all. I am Cadet James Maxwell Eswa from the Department of Nautical Science. And, sir, the captain mentioned of we putting money as a core motivation. But, sir, I have 2 questions, but I will go with the first one. The major problem for Nigerian seafarers is the huge difference in wages and salary. And I know that most Nigerian cadets, especially the disciplined ones who pass out from this great academy, are always zealous when they are working on board merchant ships. Meanwhile, on board, using myself as an example, you will find out that there are some nonchalant foreigners, but then they are also being paid far higher than the indigenous cadets. So for a cadet who is preparing to jumpstart his career and probably register for the COC preparatory classes to start his career with lesser pay or no pay at all, what should that cadet do? That's the first question.
You still have another one?
Yes, sir.
Okay, go on.
So you made mention that when the NNSL was in operation, that's the Nigerian National Shipping Line, was NIMASA issuing out COC licenses as at then? And if it is a yes, why is it that, if yes or no actually, why is it that after a long-awaited opportunity for NIMASA to issue licenses, the Nigerian licenses are not being accepted by some companies that are operating in Nigeria at the moment? Thank you.
Thank you very much. Can we take the next question?
Good morning, all. My name is Okobasi Brighton from the Electrical and Electronics Department. So my question is, what backup plan or contingency plan is being put in place for cadets of Maritime Academy of Nigeria, not minding the volume of people in the labor market? Thank you, sir.
Sorry, that question, I can't quite get it. Can you come?
I said, what contingency plan or
Okay,
backup
contingency.
plan is put in place for cadets of manual, that is we graduates now, that are going into the labor market, not minding the number of people in the labor market?
Thank you. Can we give him a round of applause? It's a very technical question. Next.
My name is Cadets Masaba Maman from the School of Nautical Studies. As he pointed out, there is a huge pay gap locally between Nigerian seafarers and foreign seafarers. So my question is, what led to this development, and is there any concerted efforts by the government to bridge this gap? Thank you.
Thank you very much. Concerted effort to bridge the gap.
Good day, sir. Sir, my name is Cadet C. David from the Department of Nautical Science. My question is, as the maritime industry is competitive, what is the impact of a good friendship in career building, and how will you know a person that has good intention to help you and the one who wants to rip you off? Thank you.
Okay, thank you, thank you. Next person. Okay. Can I assume that we've exhausted the questions? Thank you very, very much. We can see that most of the questions tailored and channeled to our very first presenter, but like I've said, it is for every one of us. We are free to contribute. Those of us that have listened to the presentation. Now, coming back to the first question, sir. So I hope you got it there.
Doctor, thank you very much. I'll refuse to answer any question until I have a question posed by a lady. If there's no question from a girl in this hall, I am not going to answer any question.
Thank you, thank you. That's a big challenge. That's a big challenge for what a man can do, a woman can do. Do we have cadets on? We do have female cadets here. Our female cadets.
Except if you want them to start with transport-related questions, because that they all
The female cadets say they don't have questions, sir. That their male counterparts have asked their questions.
So I think we have one there.
Can we clap for her?
I think, good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
With the lecture so far, we are really clear with most of the things. But one question I really have for this seminar today is, as an employee, how do you get to work with unfair labor practices in an organization? Like, how do you get to push your employers to do something about unfair labor practices in an organization?
That's a very good question. Captain, are you ready?
Yes, sir.
Okay, sir.
Okay, as I said, ladies first, so probably I will start from responding to our question. If I'm not mistaken, I think your question is more on how do you get your employer to agree to probably issues you raise. Is that the question? Okay. Thank you very much. HR issues are usually big issues, and which all take very seriously. Recall on the things I listed, I mentioned recruitment and retention policies. A lot of us don't really care about recruitment and retention policies, but they are critical to job satisfaction. Job satisfaction indicates, look, this guy could just employ people and he doesn't care about keeping them. And then you have what they call high attrition rate, which means people will come in and then they will run out. So first, I am looking at the fact that from this position you are entering in, that the companies you are going to work for will be responsible organizations. Responsible organizations will have the feedback loop. There is also what we call the appraisal system, to which it's usually top down, bottom up. You appraise, you also appraise your bosses. You are also given the chances to air out your grievances. So there's always a channel for that. I sincerely believe those will be available. But sadly, in third world countries, probably because we have more supply than demand. Like I said earlier, if you apply, if there's a job advert for just one person, over 20,000 could apply, and so employers tend to show off, and which is very sad. But there are bodies that such grievances could be channeled to. However, the first stage will be take up whatever issues you have with the HR. Don't make it verbal, written. Be bold by it. Of course, you're not going to insult anybody. These are grievances. So just lay bare your grievances and wait to see what is going to be the outcome. If they don't really come out again, probably a reminder will follow, because you're asking on how do you do it. Try to quote relevant sections of your staff rules and regulation, if ever you have. But at this stage, please don't join any organization that does not have such. Quote relevant section, seek a redress, seek an audience with top management. Hopefully you'll be given. But if not given, be bold. Take this, because for me, I always talk about one thing. Any action you take, it shouldn't be just for you, it's for others. If I fail, let others not fail. Like I said, there are labor organizations that you can pass your grievances to, then you can take to them. Of course, as a lady, I can tell you one of the toughest ones you're going to have will be sexual harassment. Everybody frowns at it. There are organizations that are out there that can listen to you. So push them forward. Because at the end of the day, you will help to change the system. So I think that's what I'm going to say. If it is criminal, you know, there are certain things that are criminal. If it is criminal issues, crimes against the state, please report to the appropriate authority. There was a young lady that was harassed on a vessel, and the company wanted to drop her just to kill the case. We put our foot down. This case must be investigated, and we had to bring in the relevant authorities into the case. Don't sweep anything under the carpet, because if you sweep under the carpet, what you went through, other people will go through the same. You are not changing the system. So be bold enough. Take the bull by the horn and fire on. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Take the bull by the horn.
Okay, there was a question from James on money as a motivator, and of course the variance between the salaries earned by Nigerians and foreigners. This issue did not just start today. Like most of us that went to the Far East, a particular company I work for, we actually had almost like 4 different salary scales. That was the company's policy. Then International Maritime Organization did not really, or Maritime Labor, ILO did not really take seafarers' welfare too seriously then. But now we have what is called collective bargaining agreement. There is an agreement between you and your employer at any point in time. First will be your salary should never go below what has been agreed. If it goes below what is agreed, it's purely discriminatory, and you have the right to report them. The second bit again is that at every point in time, for companies, depending on how specialized the vessel is, I know of one of these something conquest that's out there. The captain takes about $20,000. He's not a Nigerian. Then we don't have a Nigerian that can fill that position. For foreigners, the companies can actually have a different contract. But ours is for the seamen union, the union we have, to negotiate the best bargain for us. Because don't forget, shipping is an individual business. Government does not subsidize people's management of their ships, but government regulates. If the master has this scale as an acceptable scale, minimum scale, it means at any point in time you employed, you should not earn below that minimum scale. Where the employers get funny, report them to the appropriate authorities. With respect to variance, like I said, there may be some cases that some specialists, probably because of experience, may be brought in, but make sure that they don't break the law of the nation. You have a strong union, report them to the union and see how it goes. Because I think for me, I will stay on the collective bargaining agreement. Whatever has been agreed as your salary and it's been signed off, you should work for it. Don't be desperate to take a backhand agreement. Oh, you know there are no jobs in Nigeria, we'll pay you this and then you don't do that. Because you live to regret this. Remember job satisfaction index. The day you step in and then realize somebody else is earning more than you, your performance will dip. Because psychologically, you'll be derailed. I don't know whether I've answered your question, but for me, the agreement is the best. Nothing below the agreement.
Sorry, sir. Before you get to the next one, there was a follow-up question there. You said for our cadets with little or no salary, what should the cadet do? I think there was a follow-up of that question, sir.
Okay. Companies also have salary scales. Cadets have their salaries highlighted. Officers have their salaries highlighted. There's no way a cadet is going to be given the salary scale of an officer. But the problem is if there's no scale. I'm asking myself, if there's no scale for cadets, that's criminal. Yes, I know there are some companies that just work on the fact that, hey, come, I'll give you 50,000. But if there's no salary scale, there's nothing wrong in reporting such a company to the appropriate authorities. However, I ask myself, in desperation, I've been out there for 4 years, no vessel for me, nobody has given me the opportunity to go for my 12 months training. And then this guy offers, because we did talk about internship. That yes, you can go for internship, you can go for voluntary services just to get what you want. So I'm asking myself, after waiting for that long, an opportunity comes and the guy says, I'm not going to pay you. What will I do? The first thing that comes to your mind is, this is an opportunity, let me snatch it. If it means my father giving me allowance to use while I stay on board, I will take on. But that is absolutely against the rules. Because you need to sign an agreement. Every crew, go find out the definition of a crew and see what is being defined as. So every crew is entitled to some remuneration. And even as you're a cadet, you are entitled to salary. So follow the channel and bring forward your case. And I'm very sure the regulatory authority will take that on. There was the issue on the contingency plan for manor run. I didn't fully get the question. Somebody said something about contingency plan. Okay, you will answer that, okay, sir? Okay, variance in salary. I know salary questions are always the toughest one to to satisfy the cadets and the employees. But however, the CBA, even though most companies have not agreed to the signing of the CBA, the union is working strongly on it. The CBA is that which will resolve these issues once and for all. The other one was competitiveness. In knowing who has good intention and who wants to rip you off.
Yeah.
Typically in business, there is what they call the bargaining power. For intentions, go back to the basics. What's the basis? The agreement. Don't enter into any employment without an agreement being signed. And in fact, if the inspectors come on board the vessel and there's no agreement, the individual agreement, it is against it's a contravention. So get into an agreement. The agreement spells out what is due to you. And of course, if one party fails to act as agreed, then there is a case. Don't ever be too desperate. The no pay job offer I highlighted was purely for the, on the office side. Yes, you can offer to work in a shipping company for absolutely no salary. Always say, just give me the opportunity to work with you. That's on the office side, not on the vessel. Because my plan is, or my thinking is that while you are working in the office, you can now work towards being given the opportunity to go on board the vessel for your sea service. When I was the director of safety in NIMASA, I always tell the cadets, who were posted to my office on NYSC, I said, if you stay in this office and not succeed in having an opportunity to go on board the vessel, it means you are lazy. Because the ship owners come in for their certification, they come in for their clearances. You are the ones moving their files. You should get friendly with them. That's networking. It's an opportunity. So from such an opportunity, you can easily land a place to go and get your training berth for your 12-month sea service. So that's my own. Work on your agreement, never go back on agreement, and then track record matters a lot. So the company you are going, do you know anybody that's been there before? How was it treated? If they are noted for bad records, then you should know this is not a place to go. So familiarize yourself with the operation of companies, with their histories, with their reputation, and then also ensure that you have an agreement in place for you to work with. Okay, which other one do we have there?
There's one on COC. That's during the era of the National Shipping Line.
Okay. During the era of the National Shipping Line, the master was issuing COC, but that was home trade. Captain Owak, am I wrong? During the era of National Shipping Line, the COC Nimasa was issuing were purely home trade. They were not issuing foreign going COCs. And so there was no issue. Although some criminal minds, I know few people actually use that COC, went to Singapore and secured jobs. Because the COC was not written home trade. So they took it there, secured job, but eventually the administration in Singapore got to realize it and stop them. Then again, you talk about the issue of marketability of COC. That's actually the job of the Maritime Administration. We close license with the academy. But of course, it's principally the job of the Maritime Administration. And luckily for us, we have the oil sector. We have ships coming into the country. And so there are ways we can actually work on bettering that kind of relationship. Presently, there's a consultant from IMO, Sam Megwa. He was actually one of our ex-cadets. Worked with BP, became, I think he retired as a director with BP. The DG has commissioned him to work on the marketability of the Nigerian COC. He actually contacted me because I did a paper on that, a paper to management, to which he wanted to see the papers and what I had in mind as at then. So I think they are working on it, and hopefully that will come up to fruition. But see, on the management side, the government can do their best to sell the COC. But the bottom line is also on you, your performance. The way the world is, all it takes is for 1, 2, 3 people holding Nigerian COC to mess up, and we are blacklisted. I don't know if you get what I mean. So in as much as one, the master, the Ministry of Transport, to do their own bit, you, in being given the opportunity, you must go and excel. That young guy that we read is a profile. He's working with I think it's an Italian company, and he's doing very well. I'm hoping from him, the company will be willing to take more Nigerians. So when you are given the opportunity, please go out there, show yourself as being professional. Even within our coast here, officers are being known as stealing product, stealing oil and selling. All complain that the salaries are low, so they still need to make ends meet. So with such, think about how foreign companies, foreign ship owners will view us. Would they want to employ us, even though we go around selling these COCs? I mean, marketing, ensuring that it's marketable. So it's on all of us to market that which we have. Thank you, sir.
Okay, sir. Sorry, one last question. If there are concerted effort to bridge the salary gap between the foreigners and the indigenous crew members, there was that question.
Okay. I'm not going to tell you what I'm not aware of, but the best I know is that the union have been fighting on that, starting from the CBA. So I'm not sure where they are on it. But if they have been pushful and pushing ahead, I think someday we'll get there. But I'll stand here to tell you it will never get to that 0-0. Because there are some people, some foreigners that will actually come in, given due permissions to come in, and they may ask a little more. And if ship owner is desperate, all he will tell you is that, look, I have complied with respect to our agreement. I'm paying your own bit. So for other people, I also have different agreements I'm going to discuss with them. CBA is national. So CBA for Nigerian seafarers will be CBA for Nigerian seafarers. If a guy employing people from Philippines or from Ukraine, the CBA is going to sign with them, might be slightly different. But of course, whatever is being given to us should never be below the ITF recommended minimum salaries for seafarers.
Can we clap for our captain for attempting all the questions? Thank you very much, sir. The last question on a contingency plan, I will want to invite Mr. Eto.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Evans. Now, somebody asked a question about the contingency plan being put in place as per, is it employment or something? See, you guys should be grateful. Let me ask you a question. Where in Nigeria or in the whole wide world do you have this kind of conducive learning atmosphere? I saw some people carrying rechargeable lamps some time ago. Where are they from? Do you have rechargeable lamps? Were you provided with those ones? What do you call that? That's part of the contingency plan. True of us. Laptops, contingency plan. Solar energy, do we have it? Contingency plan. Where in Nigeria do you have this kind of provision for conducive learning? And then if you look at the broad-based curriculum that you have, it's unequaled. Look at the lectures you're having today, for instance. Contingency plan, preparing your mind. If you look at item number 12 that I read out earlier, no work is beneath you. You have to start from somewhere. You are given a job as maybe a clerical officer in a shipping company, and you have your HND, marine engineering. You have your HND or OND, maritime transport and business studies, or HND, maritime transport. And will you take that job in a shipping company? The job offer available is a clerical officer. Can you take it? You're quiet. You see, that's the problem. The job you are looking for is not there. What is available is a little bit lower than what you are looking for. Why won't you grab it with two hands? Once you enter, you become an insider. You have privileged information when opportunity comes. That's what we're talking about. You want to start big. You can start big. People that start big, they are hardly, it's maybe 1%. You start from somewhere. So when you talk about contingency plan, the academy has provided you with a conducive learning atmosphere with so many contingency plans. But you know what? Before I put down the microphone, don't always have this mindset that there are no jobs. Don't have this mindset that there are no jobs. Go out there believing that there is a job for you. Am I talking sense? Am I making sense? Be positive. Be optimistic. It is what you believe that will come to you. And besides, you've been equipped with so much knowledge, with so much skills. The job is waiting for you out there. Don't believe that there are no jobs. Listen, one of the things that's making jobs scarce is people that cannot be trusted. People that cannot be trusted. You have to work on your character, and I can assure you, you'll get a job. In Jesus' name.
Amen. So as you are going out there, have it in mind to put in place contingency. Thank you very much.
A round of applause there, ladies and gentlemen. Please keep those resounding applause. Keep clapping. Is that all you can do for Dr. Evans? Thank you very, very much. This particular section is so very crucial and important to all our cadets because it only helps to add up to your social skills and enhance your learning process. Yesterday, we had quite a very fantastic paper presentation by two of our resource persons that were carefully selected for this particular paper series. And today, we've rounded up with one, and that is Captain Omoren. Please, ladies and gentlemen, another round of applause for all our resource persons. Thank you very much. At this point in time, very distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to acknowledge and recognize the presence of the Director, Human Resources, DHR. It is Mr. Yusuf Ishola. Please, with a round of applause, please let us appreciate him for gracing this occasion. Thank you very much, sir, for coming.
All right. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. As we begin to draw this meeting to a close, we want to welcome up on stage the head of the Department of Quality Control, Dr. Akim Lawa, for the vote of thanks. Please give him a round of applause as he comes forward to give the vote of thanks and the closing remarks.
Please, a round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. I want to believe we have really enjoyed ourselves listening to a very robust and coherent paper delivered by the friend of Academy, Captain Sunday Umore. Can we appreciate him, please? I want to appreciate the management, the Rector, Maritime Academy of Nigeria, for giving us this type of opportunity, packaging this type of lecture for our graduating cadets. And I want to believe that they will make use of all that they have had. And I want to also assure the cadets that sky cannot even be your limit. You will move above the sky in Jesus' name. And having said that, please go home with this mindset, the spirit of I can do. You know, the scripture is very profound, that you can do all things. And for the Muslim, it's also written that through the prophet, you can achieve a lot. After reading your books, after graduating, whether distinction, upper credit, and the rest, just believe in yourself and maintain that good character. I want to commend Mr. Eto for taking us a paper on interview. Please, let's clap for Mr. Eto, please. Let's clap for Mr. Eto. and all the management staff present, the registrar in particular, sir, please thank you for coming. In fact, you are a good leader. It's always leadership by example. And Dr. Evans, I want to thank you for the way you handle the interactive section, because the interactive section is the baby of the lecture.
Don't worry.
If nobody asks questions, it means the presenter have not said anything. I want to say a big congratulations to the cadets. And for the cadets, please, as we are rounding up now, don't go. Sit back. While the staff, we have taken note of those that are here. Your package will come later. The organizer will bring your package. And thank you. God bless for coming.
All right. Thank you very much. As we begin to wind down, I think the last announcement was very important. Cadets, am I right? I'm with you on this one. The food is very important. Even though you missed out on 100,000 naira gifts from Captain Umoren today. Captain, please, you can still come back and give the gift to them. Am I speaking your mind? It's all right. Ladies and gentlemen, as we begin to wind down, I want to bring congratulations to every one of you for having successfully completed your academic sojourn on this academy, but not without the ceremony tomorrow. And your certificate is still with us. The registrar is here, the head of the coordinator of academic affairs, DHRO, all our directors are here. So until tomorrow's ceremony is concluded, your certificate is still with the academy. So be of good behavior tonight. Tonight is your dinner night or your gala night. Can you clap for yourselves? So get your dancing shoes on. Get your camera phones on. Don't worry, I will be there. We will dance. I should not come. All right, thank you very much. So please, tomorrow's ceremony, ensure that you are looking your best. You are here in time. And the further instructions will be given to you by the men of the Nigerian Navy in the regimental unit. Ladies and gentlemen, can we all rise up at this junction as we close the ceremony with a closing prayer, which will be our national pledge. I want to thank all staff that are here. We see you. We appreciate your presence. Lecturers from all the schools, God bless you for coming. At the count of 2, we may recite the national pledge. 1, 2, recite. To be faithful, loyal, and honest, to serve Nigeria with all my strength, to defend her unity, and uphold our honor and glory, so help me God. Thank you. Amen. You may please resume your seats as the management team will come forward here. I'm being told that the group photograph will be happening right inside the hall today, not as against going outside. Please, I want to respectfully ask that our registrar leads the team to the front of the podium for the group photograph today. We'll be needing the presence of the regimental unit commander if he's around, or a representative. And all cadets will be needed to join the management team and the representative of the rector. We'll turn it over now to the studio. Please let the foods be suspended after the pictures, please. Let that be suspended. Please, I'm being reliably informed that staff should please sit on their seats as the refreshment will get to those that have been participating in the lecture. Please, the regimental unit commander is coming. Please, let's wait for the RUC. Cadets, please, you are going to all spring up now and walk up the podium.